Making a name for oneself is not the goal of life. Awakening one's forgotten relationship with Krishna is the goal of life. This is the very disease of the conditioned soul. We have been placed under the spell of Maya for so many lifetimes, and in that forgetfulness we have developed a great hunger to be recognized, to be remembered, to leave some mark upon this world before we depart from it. The politicians want their names in the history books. The businessmen want their names on buildings. The artists want their names to outlast their bodies. Even the so-called religious man often secretly wants to be known as a great saint, a great scholar, a great devotee. But Srila Prabhupada cuts through all of this with the sharpest of blades when he explains in the Bhagavad Gita that this entire material world is a place of misery, where even Brahma, the creator, is subject to birth and death. What name then is worth building here? What fame can survive the dissolution of the universe? Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, as it is, 15:15, I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. This is the key. Forgetfulness is also coming from Krishna. It is not an accident. The soul who turned away from Krishna, who desired to enjoy independently, was given this forgetfulness as a kind of mercy wrapped inside a punishment. The jiva forgot Krishna, and so Krishna allowed that jiva to pursue whatever it imagined would bring satisfaction. And what has been the result? Millions of lifetimes wandering through 8,400,000 species of life, accumulating names and bodies and relationships that were destroyed again and again, without a single drop of lasting satisfaction. Srila Prabhupada writes in his purport to Srimad Bhagavatam 126 that the supreme occupation for all of humanity is that by which one can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. This is the only activity that is completely satisfying to the soul, because it is the only activity that reconnects the soul to its source. A child separated from its mother may run here and there seeking comfort from strangers and toys and food, but none of these things can replace the mother. The soul is in exactly this condition. It runs after name and fame and wealth and beauty and knowledge, and none of these things can fill the emptiness that was created when the soul forgot Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Sixastakam, verse 3, prays, O my Lord, you are all-pervading. Please do not make me famous in this world. This prayer alone should stop us cold. The Lord himself, appearing as the most merciful devotee, is praying not to become famous. He is teaching by his own example that the hunger for recognition is not a sign of greatness, it is a sign of contamination. Srila Prabhupada comments that one should be humbler than a blade of grass and more tolerant than a tree. And in this spirit, one should chant the holy name without desiring fame or distinction. What does it mean to awaken one's forgotten relationship with Krishna? It means to remember what we are. We are not this body, not this name printed on a birth certificate, not this nationality, not this reputation built over 50 or 60 years of material striving. We are eternal servants of Krishna, part and parcel of the Supreme, separated by the screen of Maya, wandering in a dream of self-importance. To awaken is to pierce that screen. The chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the primary means given to us for this age, because the name of Krishna is Krishna himself. When the name touches the tongue and the ear and the heart with sincerity, the forgetfulness begins to dissolve. The relationship that was never truly broken begins to be felt again. Narada Muni says in Srimad Bhagavatam 1-5-22 that even if the work is not perfectly done, devotional service to Krishna destroys the danger of repeated birth and death. But work done perfectly in the material world, even if it earns a person the greatest name and fame, cannot do this. It cannot free a single soul from the cycle of birth and death. This is the great tragedy that no philosopher of this world wishes to confront directly. All their fame perishes, all their great works eventually crumble, and the soul, still forgetful, still searching, takes another body and begins again. The goal of human life is specifically described by Srila Prabhupada as going back to Godhead, back to Krishna, not to leave a legacy, not to be remembered by posterity, not to achieve greatness in the eyes of those who are themselves caught in the same dream. The goal is to wake up, to hear the holy name, to associate with devotees, to take shelter at the lotus feet of the spiritual master, to gradually, scintillantly, humbly restore that relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead that is our original and eternal nature. Making a name for oneself feeds the false ego, which is the very wall that stands between the soul and Krishna. Awakening one's relationship with Krishna dismantles that wall, brick by brick, name by name, until nothing remains but pure devotion.